Okay, and now part two for not pushing yourself too hard. I just got the storage low tap to manage, but I have no idea how much time I have left because Google sucks balls. I don't know if I'll get the chance to uh, deal with it this month because I have a lot of government paperwork, bullshit, bureaucracy, and all that stuff to deal with. That's been taking up more of my time than I thought. I thought I solved it all in December, but apparently I hadn't. So now I just gotta keep slogging through all this bullshit, and then I gotta wait. And anyways, the point is, um, none of that had to do with the actual point of the video. I will install Graphene OS. I just don't know when. The main thing, though, is we're talking about pushing but not pushing too hard. I saw a video over the weekend on my day off when it was about Dennis Rodman. Excuse me. And he was very much a loose cannon, so to speak, but simultaneously one of the greatest NBA players that ever lived. In particular, there was this one night where they were getting ready for a championship game. I don't remember what championship game. He was on the Bulls, and this was after he'd had like a whole lot of issues with other teams. And he went to either the coach or the general manager, and he was like, "Hey, I need a few days off. I need to go to Vegas." And against everyone else's advice, against the team's wishes, the rest of his teammates' wishes, because they all felt that he wasn't gonna come back in time. The coach or the GM was like, "All right, can you be back in 48 hours?" Dennis was like, "Yeah, I'll be back in 48 hours." He went out there and he didn't make it back in 48 hours. They had to go get him, wake him up in his hotel room. Okay, so apparently there were already photos in my trash or videos in my trash that the phone just wasn't going to delete on its own. I don't know why. You'd think that by default, Charlie, what is up? You're just being so attention beggy right now. I haven't had enough coffee to deal with you yet. Okay, what was I even saying? Oh yeah, Dennis Rodman. He went to Vegas. Team said be back in 48 hours. He didn't make it back in 48 hours. They had to send someone to wake him up in his hotel room. The whole story is on the Luesta YouTube channel, so go check that out. Just search Luesta Dennis Rodman. I love his content. Uh, and the guy ended up playing one of the best games of his life after missing 2 days of practice. So, what is my point here? My point is not everyone functions entirely in the same way. We have this whole society that's built around systems, but a lot of these systems don't work for people. And in fact, some of these systems are counterproductive for people. For example, the whole 24-hour system, that's never worked for me in my entire life. And it's only recently that I've started to really internalize that. I've always kind of known it, but I still felt compelled to do my best to accommodate the 24-hour system wherever possible. In that I would try to start and end my streams during times where I was more likely to get the most number of views because people were waking up or coming home from work, etc., things like that, or catering to the night owl crowd, all that stuff. But what I ended up realizing when I look back at all that time was it just caused me to stream a lot less than I needed to. For me, uh, trying to abide by the 24-hour system just doesn't work at all whatsoever. Where I am most productive is when I just work. I wake up, I spend an hour or two, depending on how focused I am. I'm not very focused today. I spent probably more than 2 hours on Warframe just grinding out Duviri, which is something I definitely could have done on stream. But I also, um, Sunday is a light work day for me. You know, I take it to do chores and just passively go around cleaning things up. And it ends up not being a super hardcore focus day for me. The annoying thing is I do want to bring back the uh the reading streams on Sunday, but the annoying thing is Warframe resets are on Sunday, and I'm so busy with other things, namely this government bullshit, and then also doing my best to work on a bunch of back end stuff until I get a manager and all those things that um I don't have as much time to stream as I would like, which is one of the reasons I want to start streaming my workouts again. But I'm not going to do that when I can't work out because I pushed myself too hard. So, um, the important thing is it's important to know your limits and also the way your mind and body functions. I'm no party animal like Dennis Rodman, but I am the weird space wizard hanging out in the cave type mentality, like good old Obi-Wan living in the desert vibes, right? So one of the things that I need is long periods of solitude and silence. And I don't really give myself enough of that, especially being a content creator. That's one of the reasons why it takes me so long to respond to comments and things. Like, there's so many comments I need to go through, especially on Instagram. The YouTube comments, I'm generally pretty quick at responding to because those show up as notifications and it's only like one or two of them. All those platforms that force fake notifications on you, I've actually been trained not to open the notifications. Like Facebook and Instagram, the TikTok, I mean, not TikTok, TikTok kind of, but Twitter's getting bad with it now too, where it'll like give me a notification for a tweet for someone I'm not even following and I've never heard of before. And it's like no matter how many times I click see less of this, it keeps showing it to me. So I know that for most people, it feeds their attention addiction, right? Where they just keep clicking on all these notifications and keep coming back to the platform. What it causes me to do is to turn all those notifications off, and if I can't turn those notifications off, then I just silence notifications from the entire app. I'm extremely different from the average person in that the things that cause them to get addicted to things are the exact same things that will turn me off. I was doing really good on Duolingo until Duolingo introduced the streaks. I quit Duolingo way before everyone else did when they got mad that the quality went down because it turned into AI slop. I quit when it just started getting big because I'm a hipster like that. No, the whole reason I quit it is because I found it. I thought it was being helpful, uh, especially during COVID. I was doing daily Duolingo things until they started the daily streak thing. And then, because I'm non 24, I would, even though I would do it every one of my days, I'd still lose the streak just because of their weird reset timers. Well, for me, it's weird reset timers, the habit was to wake up, do Duolingo while I was drinking my coffee and stuff in the morning, and then go about my day. But then I would stream for 24 hours, not necessarily 24 hours. Maybe I did manage that a bit during COVID. I haven't managed to do that since I've come back. Either I'm not as young as I used to be, or there's just health issues that I haven't fully, like, the whole lack of sleep is definitely making it difficult to stream as much as I would like. I don't know why, but everyone seems to be unable to get good sleep these days. I think it's the aliens. I'm kidding, but I don't know if I am. Maybe I'm correct. Anyways, um, the I'd wake up, I'd do my Duolingo, I'd stream for 20 hours, and then I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up, and I'd go to do my Duolingo, and I'd lost my streak, and I'd be like, what the fuck? I just did it yesterday. How did I lose my streak? Well, it was because 24 hours had elapsed since, and the reset is always at midnight or whenever their reset is, whether it's 2 a.m. or what, but it was always at the same time. Whereas for me, um, even though I was doing it literally every day, waking up and doing it, uh, I was just getting fucked over by it. And I even tried to get some customer feedback for help from them. I was like, yo, is there a way you can change the streak system? So instead of just resetting at the same time every day, it resets on like a 24-hour cycle, because even though I'm not exactly on a 24-hour cycle, that still would have been really helpful for me, because then since I'm on a phase delay sleep pattern, it's called, where like every day I wake up a little bit later, but it's also because every day I'm staying up later. I'm getting the same number of amounts of sleep when I get sleep. It's just that I stay awake for longer than most people. So I'm on like a 28, 30 hour cycle sometimes. Uh, with that, if they just had it reset 24 hours after you did the last uh, the last lesson, I would have been able to keep my streak most of the time. I was a subscriber, so I got like a monthly streak freeze, and I didn't stream for 24 hours more frequently than like once or twice a month. So I would have been able to keep my streak freezes to keep my streak alive if they just made it a 24-hour timer instead of it resets daily at this time. That made me feel really stressed, to the point where I canceled Duolingo. And then the crazy thing is, despite doing it for like a year, I realized I didn't learn jack shit from Duolingo. Like, my Spanish is no better than it was when I started. So I feel like it was really just a scam. I don't know. Let me know if you had a different experience with Duolingo. But uh, I was like, all right, I've been doing this shit for a year, right? I can, like, 15 minutes daily for a year. I can go watch The Expanse in Spanish, because that was my plan. I've seen The Expanse like two or three times through. in English. So I was like, so I'm gonna be able to like kind of understand this, right? So I think I was doing Spanish with English subtitles, and I was like, bro, I don't understand shit. Like, I understand it's gonna be a more challenging thing to watch because it's super sci-fi and probably using more advanced vocabulary, but I figured I could just learn the vocabulary as I listened to it. But Duolingo did not work for me at all. I was absolutely terrible at understanding, and I'm very, very bad at speaking Spanish. I can get little hints of Spanish when I hear things, but I don't get the full gist of any sentence. So I think it's important not only to make sure you don't push yourself too hard, but also that you don't push yourself in the wrong way. You know, look at the systems that work best for you, and it's okay to borrow systems from other people, but definitely don't assume that just because some system works for you, it's going to works for someone else, that it's going to work for you, you know? People like to point out how like lots of billionaires were college dropouts. That's true, but there's also lots of billionaires that have multiple degrees. So I think it really is up to whatever system works best for you, depending on what your goals are in life and just how your brain and body functions. I definitely pushed my body way too hard for the lowers. I think I did too many squats, uh, too many reps. Really, I probably should have done half the number I did because it's been 2 days, and I am dreading standing up out of this chair. You know, going up and down the stairs to the studio is an absolute pain right now. And I was hoping that with a day, like all I did yesterday was the push ups. I didn't even do crunches or plank. I don't think so. Um, but I still did my push ups yesterday. I did my stretches yesterday. And I was like, with an extra day of complete rest, drinking my protein powder so that my muscles can rebuild. I was like, I'll feel better tomorrow, right? I don't feel any better today than I did yesterday. It is a pain to move my body around the house. So I definitely pushed too hard. You know, you should, if you wake up 2 days later and you're still sore, you went too hard. And it's really the most annoying thing for me is I don't even feel like I can do the upper workout because since I use dumbbells, free weights, a lot of my workout routine partially uses my legs. Like one of the big ones is called dumbbell swings, where I kind of do a little bit of a squat, except for I do it with less weight and I stand up and I lift it up about even with my head, then drop it back down and squat back down. Absolutely no way I'm doing that today. And I'm not doing partial workouts. So I'm going to do my push ups, I'm going to do my crunches, and I'm going to do my plank. And of course, I'm going to stretch. But that's it today. The other thing that I really am annoyed that I can't do today is after every workout, whether it's uppers or lowers, I do 30 minutes on the exercise bike at 20 miles per hour. About like I don't really watch it. Usually it's a little bit faster than 20 miles per hour, but the goal is to stay at least 20 miles per hour. So, no way I'm doing that today because I would not last 5 minutes, let alone 30 minutes. So, that's another thing I can't do today that I was looking forward to doing today. So be careful not to push yourself too hard. I know in today's hyper competitive society, that can be difficult, especially when you're someone that has big dreams and big plans that they're committed to, like myself. But all you end up doing by pushing yourself too hard is slowing yourself down, you know? As they say, slow and steady wins the race. I I shouldn't have pushed my legs so hard because now they are rebelling today. Hopefully they feel better tomorrow and I can continue with the regular workout schedule. I do have to say it feels great to be lifting again and to be just exercising in general. The push-ups, sit-ups, the I don't really do sit-ups. I do crunches, but and the planks all just make me feel stronger overall. Again, I'm sure it's doing good things for for my heart and for my cholesterol. Last time I went to a doctor, they told me my cholesterol was a little high, and I cut like extra fatty foods out of my diet a fair bit, but also I kind of just have to eat what I can afford right now too. So the best thing I can do to deal with that is just to make sure I stay moving until I can afford healthier, fresher food and not all this processed bullshit, you know? So I just want to say I love all of you. Delete Windows, de-Google yourself, and God bless America. We're just doing it out of order. I'm not intentionally changing the order every time, but especially in the early half of the video, I was running out of time. I got to stay under that 3 minutes. Um, but yeah, cheers.